Hey there everyone, Andy Cassidy, and today's video is about why cash flow is overrated when it comes to real estate investing. This may sound counterintuitive to what a lot of you think is true, but stay tuned to the video, hear me out, and you'll understand why cash flow is overrated. This video will be broken down into 3 parts. Part number 1 being about more down payment, part 2 about taxation, and part 3 about slow growth. Starting off with topic number 1 about being more down payment. As we know, in areas such as California or New York, where home values are much higher, that means you have to put more down payment down in order for that property cash flow as soon as you buy it. Now, here in California, you're gonna need around 25 to 35% down for that property to start cash flowing right away. With medium home prices rising in California, being at nearly around $700,000, if you're gonna put 25 to 35% down, it's gonna be too much for you to save that amount initially. You're gonna have to save somewhere around $175 to $220, $25-ish thousand. This is a lot to save up front. Instead of purchasing one property with that large amount down, why not spread that out to 3 properties where you put 10% or less down on each of these properties. If you go the approach of buying the 3 homes, you allow yourself to control a lot more real estate. You'll own about $2.1 million in assets of real estate, whereas if you just bought that one house, you'd only control $700,000 of real estate. And now that we have appreciation going for us, let's just say your property is appreciated 5% in the next year. If you own the 3 homes, you would have made $105,000 in appreciation. Whereas if you own just that one home, you would have only made $35,000. This is about a $70,000 difference to your net worth. For those of you who are saying, but I'll have 3 mortgages to pay instead of 1, this will be too much money for me to spend each month on these properties. What you can do is rent out your properties. And although it may not be positively cash flowing each month, even if you just have $100 to $200 negative each month, you can eat that $100 to $200 negative. Because on the back end, the end of appreciation, you're gonna be making $105,000 in appreciation on these 3 properties. So who cares about that maybe negative $100 to $200 each month when you're making that $105,000 on appreciation? To keep it in perspective, $105,000 boost to your net worth is more than what a lot of people make from their annual salary. And the best part is, your money, that appreciation, isn't gonna be taxed until your gain is realized on that appreciation. Whereas those people who are making $105,000 from their salary, that's gonna be taxed annually. This leads me into point number 2, taxation. As we know, real estate is critical when it comes to taxation. Real estate has a lot of incentives for those that own real property. A few examples are a 1031 exchange, depreciation, mortgage interest deduction, and much more. However, despite all the tax incentives with real estate, positive monthly cash flow, so income that is greater than your expenses, is taxable. So not only will you have to put more money down to create instant cash flow, but that positive cash flow that you're getting is gonna be taxable. Whereas if we go back to our previous example of the 3 homes that you purchased, that appreciation isn't taxed until you sell your property. And once you sell your 3 properties, you can do a 1031 tax exchange to eliminate having to pay taxes right away. Now what a 1031 tax exchange is you can take the capital gain that you got from selling those 3 homes and you can put that gain into a different piece of real estate. And that real estate, by the way, has to be greater to or equal to in value of those 3 homes that you sold. And that money goes into your next purchase tax-free. Now, in taking into consideration tax on your positive monthly cash flow and tax on your appreciation, and what you can do to help deter paying tax on your appreciation, it's clear that appreciation is the way to go. Quick note is that I am not a CPA, so make sure to always consult a CPA in your financial team before you make any financial decision. Moving into our 3rd point of slow growth, when it comes to cash flow and when you're only going for cash flow, it takes a lot longer to accumulate a high net worth. And we saw this with our example of buying 3 homes compared to 1 home. Buying that one property that does cash flow, perhaps it might be a more safe investment, but it will take too much time and too much upfront capital to make a serious return on your money. With everything being said, it's also important not to be too over leveraged with your real estate. And what being over leveraged is having too much debt where it inhibits your ability to pay back the money that you borrowed. If a pullback or recession does occur in the real estate market, you want to make sure that you have reserves so you can cover yourself during these hard times. The amount of reserves will reflect your personal investment style. It's going to reflect if you are more of a risky or if you want to be more of a safe investor. In conclusion, we can now understand why cash flow is overrated when it comes to real estate investing. It's due to 3 reasons. The 3 reasons being taxation, requiring more money down, and slow growth rate. If this video changed your opinion on cash flow, on appreciation, made you think of something new to help you be a better real estate investor, or if you just liked the video or thought it was interesting, perhaps share it with a friend, share it with a family member, as it greatly helps out the channel and I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check out the new videos coming on the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.